Hello, I'm glad you're here. If you're catching this on the replay, I'm Gretchen Shepherd, and I'm bringing you story as art, and the art of stories, and the art that makes up stories, and all that celebration of children's literature that I find so wonderful and inspiring my own photography. So I'm a visual artist, mainly a photographer, and this is what we're gonna do. Yeah, yay. So, Gloria, I don't know if you saw that I said today was the title was Spread the Joy Germ, and it cracked me up because I was kind of looking for something today of what book to do and what, because I didn't plan it last night like I normally do. So I was trying to figure out what book I really wanted to do, and I went to my go-to calendar of the National Day, which you can get some crazy things like today's National Bubble Bath Day. That didn't really quite fit, and a variety of Elvis Presley's birthday, a variety of other things. What was it today? My friend Michael did a his YouTube daily this day in history on his channel's called Wrinkle City, and so this day in history is the day Fidel Castro apparently took over in Cuba. But as I was looking through, what I saw was it is National Joy Germ Day, and I thought, what the heck? So I have to share what this is. So National Joy Germ Day, as you can see, it's here on my Oops, there's my mom. Old picture of my mom. My iPad just disappeared. There we go. Shrink it down. On January 8th, National Joy Germ Day annually reminds people across the country that by being positive and treating people with kindness, they can influence those around them and pass that positive attitude on to others. When we share good moods, we impact the lives of people around us, and those people become infected with that same positive joy and spread it to others. Laugh, smile, be kind, inspire, and spread the one type of germ that's good for everyone to catch. It just had all kinds of, ways you could do things, you could just come up. But so I came up with sharing a story that I particularly like. I find it, I always paired it at school with another book called The Memory Box, and I could not find my copy of The Memory Box, and I'm probably only up for reading one story anyway. So that's what this one is going to be, and it's by, Gloria, can you hang on? I left, I'm meant to grab the printout I did of the author. Hang on, I'll be right back. Be right back. Talk amongst yourself. I thought I was too organized. Yep. Okay. Funny. So the book I'm reading today is by an Australian author named Mem Fox, and the illustrator is Julie Vivas, and she's also Australian. But Mem Fox grew up in Africa, went to drama school in England, and came back to Australia in 1970 at the age of 23. She became Australia's best-selling author of Possum Magic, her first book, she became Australia's best-selling writer. Possum Magic, her first book, is still available in hardback after 36 years. Yeah, I have Possum Magic. It's so good, and has become a beacon of children's literature for millions of Australian families. She's written over 40 children's books and has several nonfiction books for adults. Her books have been translated into like 21 languages, and many of them are international bestsellers. She's a retired associate professor of literary studies from Flinders University in South Australia, and she has 3 honorary doctorates. Wow. Her recent book, I'm Australian Too, takes her back to where she started her passion for Australia. Anyway, there's on her website, it goes into all different kinds of things in her books. Her number of her books are just amazing. What's really cool is that the illustrator Julie Vivas on this book Julie Vivas also illustrated Possum Magic. And so Julie has been doing these books with Mem Fox for ages. She's one of Australia's foremost illustrators. She did Possum Magic, began a career as a children's illustrator. She's created some very important books. She lives in Melbourne and Sydney as a child, and later studied. My printer cut off things. Anyway, she's done the book we're going to read tonight called Wilfred Gordon McDonald Partridge, Possum Magic, I Went Walking. I have that. Welcome with Love, Our Granny, Puffling, Let's Go Visiting Samsara Dog, and the Grandma Poss Cookbook. Most of those books I had in my school library. It was crazy. Very crazy. So, are you ready for a really wonderful story? Gloria, I think you're really going to like this one. It's called Wilfred Gordon McDonald Partridge. And the illustrations are done in watercolor. And I'll switch here so you can see, and I'm going to zoom in just a little. Oh, I can't right there because I'm locked to this. There we go. So if I zoom in a bit, you can see the delicacy of the colors of the story. And this book is just magical. Wilfred Gordon McDonald Partridge. Oh, okay. So we can wait for just a second for Angie then. I will show you something then. Since we're here doing this, I'm going to show you. I got, because this book reminded me of these watercolors that I got from, I don't know whether, I think I found them on Instagram or something. And they're like metallic watercolors. And they have that crazy kind of, this guy, you fill it with water. I have a water thing over here. I can never do these very well. You're supposed to pump them. It's supposed to bring water into the, I don't know. Okay. Anyway, I have this little watercolor sketchbook, and it does kind of cool. It's kind of messy there. But I thought they were kind of nice for traveling. Oops. And my grandkids kind of love them, of course. And it makes some pretty cool metallic colors. Oh, I'm gonna sneeze again. No. So yeah, so that's kind of cool. And I thought I might with some of the colors in this book, this is a better palette that goes with it. That's the bright green one. Probably doesn't go as well. Stuck. Although those reds and pinks do. I just thought, yeah, they're kind of cool. Anyway, the little kid is Wilfred Gordon McDonald Partridge, and he's this little kid with this great little scratch of red hair. I love it, Of course I would love a redhead, kind of. And it reminded me of the idea of just Oh, good. I'm glad. Hi, Deidre Miller. Hi, welcome, welcome. Hi, Deidre. So, remember I did the drawing on the right side of the brain, and I got thinking about doing this kind of stuff with that shape rather than the upside down stuff. Just the shape, and maybe trying to figure out like just one character from the book to play with, and it might be Wilfred Gordon. But rather than trying to think of doing it exactly, I would be working at instead just taking kind of the shapes of kind of what he was doing and making some fun stuff just to play with shapes. This illustrator Julie Vivas, I mean, if as you see when I read the book. Oh, yes, I can. Thank you, thank you, thank you. My volume must have gotten turned down there. Turn that all the way up there. And over here. Yeah. Oh, let's go up. How's that? Is that better? Hi, is Angie here? Hi, Angie. Hi, Deidre. Oh, yay. Okay. Sorry, that's all right. Welcome. I was telling them about this book I'm going to read, and then since we were waiting for you, and I meant a little bit about the author. Mem Fox is the author of this book, and Julie Vivas is the illustrator. These two have collaborated on so many books. Mem Fox is the most celebrated Australian author there is. She has over 40 children's books. She's a retired professor. Julie Vivas illustrated Mem Fox's first book, Possum Magic, as well as this one and about 6 or 7 others also. Mem Fox is prolific and she's wonderful, and just about every book that she's ever had, I had in my school library. But since we're talking more kind of art and stuff, and we're focusing on the art, I pulled out these watercolors that I picked up, I don't know, on Instagram or something. It was like that. And I love the way that she takes colors here, and like the little boy's, his red head in these colors, but throughout here and her subtle lines, it's all done with watercolor. And oh, look, there's a rooster underneath the desk. So I'm not going to paint tonight. I'm not going to do, because I would be silly, because you know me, I'm a photographer, I'm not a painter. I play. But it would still be a really cool kind of thing, because this would be a perfect kind of picture to do, like the shape outline, like we talked about with we're drawing on the right side of the brain, where we did it upside down. But with this one, instead of doing upside down, you could cover things and just try to work on like outside. We'll do that one night, but it's an idea. But I also thought that her color palette, you guys would all find really, really inspirational and really wonderful. And it is one of my favorite books. I always say that. Can we count how many times I say that? Do we get to have prizes? Deidre, thank you so much for coming. I'm so welcome to have you here. Like I said, this is a kind of a celebration of art, and the art that makes up children's literature and visual art in general, and the storytelling. It pulls in my photography, my librarianship, and all of that stuff, and it's just kind of soothing. I woke up feeling not as good as I did yesterday, and then I've gotten better throughout the day. You can tell what's in the cup. Bet you know, to clean through, but yeah, it's just, but one thing I did, I vacuumed my studio floor. Oh my God, there were little pieces of paper everywhere. It was driving me crazy. I vacuumed the floor and I dumped the garbage can right before oh my gosh, feels so good. Yeah, little things that make me happy, like reading a story. So this is Wilfred Gordon McDonald Partridge, written by Mem Fox and illustrated by Julie Vivas. I'm going to have to kind of, because the book is larger. Yeah, so it doesn't quite fit in the picture, so I'll go back and forth. There was once a small boy called Wilfred Gordon McDonald Partridge, and what's more, he wasn't very old either. His house was next door to an old people's home, and he knew all the people who lived there. He liked Mrs. Jordan, who played the organ. Let me do something here on my brightness there on that. Bring that brightness down. You can see the pictures better. He listened to Mr. Hosking, who told him scary stories. He played with Mr. Tippet, who was crazy about cricket. He ran errands for Miss Mitchell, who walked with a wooden stick. And he admired Mr. Drysdale, who had a voice like a giant. But his favorite person of all was Miss Nancy Allison Delacourt Cooper, because she had 4 names just like he did. He called her Miss Nancy, and he told her all his secrets. One day, Wilfred Gordon heard his mother and father talking about Miss Nancy. "Poor old thing," said his mother. "Why is she a poor old thing?" asked Wilfred Gordon. "Because she's lost her memory," said his father. "It isn't surprising," said his mother. "After all, she is 96. "What's a memory?" asked Wilfred Gordon. He was always asking questions. "Why, it's something you remember," said his father. But Wilfred Gordon wanted to know more, so he called on Mrs. Jordan, who played the organ. "What's a memory?" he asked. "Oh, something warm, my child, something warm." He called on Mr. Hosking, who told him scary stories. "What's a memory?" he asked. "Oh, something from long ago, me lad. Something from long ago." He called on Mr. Tippet, who was crazy about cricket. "What's a memory?" he asked. "Oh, something that makes you cry, my boy. Something that makes you cry." He called on Miss Mitchell, who walked with a wooden stick. "What's a memory?" he asked. "Something that makes you laugh, my darling. Something that makes you laugh." And he called on Mr. Drysdale, who had a voice like a giant. "What's a memory?" he asked. "Oh, something as precious as gold, young man. Something as precious as gold." So Wilfred Gordon went home again to look for memories for Miss Nancy because she had lost her own. He looked for the shoebox of shells he had found long ago, last summer, and he put them gently in a basket. He found a puppet on strings, which always made everyone laugh, and he put that in a basket too. He remembered with sadness the medal which his grandfather had given him, and he placed it gently next to the shells, right there. Next, he found his football, which was as precious as gold. And last of all, on his way to Miss Nancy's, he went into the hen house and took a fresh, warm egg from under a hen. When Wilfred Gordon called on Miss Nancy, he gave her each thing, one by one. "What a dear, strange child to bring me all these wonderful things," said Miss Nancy. Then she started to remember. She held the warm egg and told Wilfred Gordon about the day speckled blue eggs, about the tiny speckled blue eggs she had found in a bird's nest in her aunt's garden. She put the shell to her ear and remembered going to the beach by tram long ago, and how hot she had felt in her button-up boots. She touched the medal and talked sadly of the big brother she had loved, who had gone away to war and never returned. She smiled at the puppet on strings and remembered the one she had shown to her sister. And how she had laughed with a mouth full of porridge. She bounced the football to Wilfred Gordon and remembered the day that she had met him and the secrets they had told. And the two of them smiled and smiled because Miss Nancy's memory had been found again by a small boy who wasn't very old either. And that's the story of Wilfred Gordon McDonald Partridge. Just one of my favorites. Oh, metallic white, yeah. The pictures are just, look at, here, I'll get this one. This is this one with him upside down in the chair with his parents. That's kind of, he still is the main central character, so he's got the bit of blue. The dad has blue socks. That connects the two of them. But not everything else is kind of all soft, but this bit I love here. Look at her, Mrs. Jordan, who played the organ. And he's stacking sugar cubes. It's just the different images of the different people and the softness of the illustrations. The illustrator this is kind of her signature type things in Possum. I know in Possum Magic. Let me see if I can find. She doesn't have a website. She has a Facebook page. But in her work in Possum Magic, which I'll have to read one night, is just amazing about this little baby possum, and it's so cute. And similar color palette that she uses a lot. This one of the giant, or who with the voice like a giant, Mr. Drysdale. I love the whole softness. Hang on. Sorry about that. Made it through the story. Anyway, that was Wilfred Gordon McDonald Partridge. I think just the whole idea of the softness of the watercolors, how they're done. But this on the front cover, I love this picture of her and how the connection that they had, because they had 4 names. So much. No, not resting. I rested. Well, I didn't sleep well last night, so Angie's getting better. I'm getting better. A watercolor and an art. This is my happy place. Oh, Deidre, that's wonderful. That's so cool. Well, I'm glad I didn't start watercolor painting, because I'm not a No, it's just, I think that I find it really fascinating because Deidre, this is your first time here. I'm a retired school librarian. I'm a photographer, really is what I do. And this morphed in from being about some of the photography things and about learning eCam into some storytelling and then reading books. But I've been a collector of children's literature for years, and these books are all coming out of my collection that I'm reading, and it's just a really fun way to explore the art in them. The fact that we're about the only country that doesn't really celebrate the art of children's literature like other places do is kind of crazy. Okay. It's gonna go. All right. Thought I could make it. But I made it through this story. There. Cough drop. Yeah, I think that you're here. So that's a thing you see. I would talk about this with kids in the library about, the people are somewhat faded, but the kid's really vibrant. But the relationship between the two of them, all the things that connect them. I love the colors. It's really good. I'm glad you liked it. It's a really fun book. Like I said, I pair it with a book called The Memory Box, which I'm surprised I don't have, but I wouldn't have been able to read. The Memory Box is about things that are in a box and that they pull out. Someone's losing their memory and how it connects with them. And much like a quilt, there's a book about, is it The Quilter's Sunrise or something? Anyway, that has all those things too, about the different things, memories that a quilt brings. Like if I pulled out the quilt my grandmother made for me, I and my sisters and I sat down around it, you could tell, Patty would tell you that, oh, this was the prom dress that Mom made me. This is from your dress when our Easter dresses. This is from this and that. Because my mom sewed all 4 of our clothes all the time. And so all of our quilts are done in pieces that were part of us. And so it's really kind of cool to go back and look at that. But I'm glad you came tonight and that we have a new person, Deirdre, here. Yay. Thank you for coming. And, I hope these colors inspire some of you guys in your art that you're doing. I think that they are just really nice. I hadn't pulled out these watercolors that I got for fun. I got them to take them when I go on when we're camping and stuff, because they're pretty easy to travel with, and they have a kind of a cool metallic aspect to it. I took them down to, no, I think I was out on our deck, because this is basically the view from our deck that I did. Kind of, I might have gone down to the beach down or on the hill, but I took them with me to do that kind of thing. So this is the Olympics, and back in the back with a little more snow on them. And then this would be Taylor Bay. I didn't put, oh no, that's Harstein Island, and then that's that. And there's the other part of the bay. So they're just kind of fun to play with. And I think, that, yeah, a little sparkle for the old folks would be kind of fun. Anyway, it's true hot toddy time. That's what's in this cup. Yep, it is a bit of lemon drop mix, the lemon, some honey, some cinnamon fireball, or some fireball whiskey, and some hot water. And it's somewhat helping, but oh, cool. Nice, Angie. Chinese calligraphy brush set, professional sumi water writing. Nice. Oh, that's a great thing to have found. Yeah, these sparkly watercolors, this was one of those weird sets, you see those things come up on Instagram once in a while, and you buy them, and then you have to wait like 2 months while they come from China. I learned one time I bought clothes that way, and it was lucky that they didn't come up, because I'm not small. I'm 5'11", and so that's kind of an anomaly in and of itself. And so a large to them is not oh, yay. So it's kind of funny, but the art supplies sometimes are kind of fun to find. You give it a whirl. Sparkly weather, and you found Yvonne Palka's book. Good. Well, I'm going to sign us out tonight. Deirdre, thank you for coming. I appreciate you being here. It's nice to have you here, and welcome. I'll be back tomorrow night at 6:30. I think, what did I choose to? Well, like I said, this book came from the fact that it is a national, let's see if I can find it again, Joy Germ Day. Yeah. So, here, yes. Let's show this again. I was showing this. So I couldn't think of, I was kind of addled last night, So literally, you can go on these National Day calendars, and they have like today's National Bubble Bath Day, I said. But on January 8th, National Joy Germ Day annually reminds people across the country that by being positive and treating people with kindness, they can influence those around them and pass that positive attitude on to others. And I think that this book really represents that. I mean, kids are never too young to learn to be kind. And I think adults are never too old to learn to be kind, and in different ways. And it's just something that I think the idea of a joy germ, when dealing with this stupid COVID and everything else that we're dealing with, and Angie's dealing with, we're all like, ugh. I'm going to say we're just flooding ourselves with joy germs instead. So Let's just flood ourselves with joy germs all over. Gloria's going to put joy germ juice in her Reiki magic. And woof, send it out into the universe for wonderful Joy Germ Day. And everybody, thank you so much. Take care, Deidre. I don't know the backstory on your health, but I'm hoping that I'm excited that you're getting back into your art and able to do things again. It's wonderful to, we all know what a great therapy that is. And oh, it's just really a delight to have you here. And I hope you'll come back and join us again. This started out as like a different kind of things. And now I just don't know. I just can't give it up. I just can't give it up. It's kind of funny. And as long as, I've made it through knee replacement and now COVID doing this, and it's just got to keep going because it really gives me some great focus, and it helps me be, I don't know, it just helps with this connection that we are so unable to have in other ways, and I think is so important for us. And it also gives me a chance to just share some of the great children's literature out there that you guys haven't seen so much, I mean, not a lot of people see these books unless your kids bring them home from the library, or these are the things that enveloped my life for 35 years. So that's the way it is. Yay. So true. Thanks, Gloria, for being here. Made you laugh. Gretchen groupies. Gigi. My nickname is Grandma Goo. That's my grandkids all call me Grandma Goo. My nickname growing up was Magoo, as in Mr. Magoo. Oh Magoo, you've done it again. Well, my oldest sister always called me Magoo. Her son is the oldest of my nephews, and when he was born, he was born in November, and then that following summer, I babysat him every day while Patty had to go to work. That was my summer job. I think I was 15. Well, whenever Patty was around and came back, and all she ever did was talk to when she talked to me, she called me Magoo. Well, that's all Todd ever heard. So he started calling me Goo because he couldn't say anything else. And I became Auntie Goo. He introduced his sister to me as Auntie Goo. All my nieces and nephews ended up calling me Auntie Goo, Auntie Goo, Auntie Goo. And it stuck. In fact, Todd still calls me Goo. And they all call me Auntie Goo. Then their kids started calling me Great Goo. I am, because I'm not their aunt, I'm their great aunt, so I'm the Great Goo or Great Goo. And when my kids had children, instead of being that, I became Grandma Goo. Grandma Goo. So I'm Grandma Goo, and that's who I am. So the Gigi, it's one of those things that is kind of funny. So, yeah. Sometimes the "oh Magoo, you've done it again" is a little wearing on me because it's not the most uplifting thing. But when one of my grandkids jumps in my arms going, "Grandma Goo," yeah, it's okay. Thank you. I think that if we can bring kindness and richness to other people's lives in any little way, we never know what we say or what we do or how it's going to affect somebody else. And I think that that's key. It's what's keeping me going because there's a lot going on and diggle things. So, but I have a clean floor in my studio. The garbage can is empty. Whoa! I got my story. I got my story out to you guys. I've learned I learned another new thing in Ecamm today, you guys. I learned how to use my scenes to go through to Zoom. So I'm getting closer and closer to getting to that point where I'm going to be able to bring you guys. We could do people in. Oh, that would be cool. I'm not quite there yet, but my learning curve. I'm just trying to keep healthy enough and keep my brain active enough so that those brain cells don't snap and I turn into a gerbil. So that's it. Like always, keep looking for the beauty hidden in plain sight. It's all around you. And if you have a hard time finding it, go look in the mirror and you'll see it looking right back at you. All right, you guys, have a great night. I will see you soon.